Hi guys, this is Carlos. He is a coworker of mine, works at the restaurant with me, and has very graciously agreed to be a part of this interview process.
I'm from Matamoros, Mexico.
Where is that?
The border with Brownsville, Texas.
Okay, cool. When did you come? When did you move to Texas?
I moved 12 years ago.
12 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you come by yourself, or did you come with your family?
By myself.
Yeah.
Well, first, I came with visa.
Okay.
Like a tourist visa.
Okay.
And then I just stayed here.
And then once the visa
expired,
okay.
I just stayed here.
Is that like a common? Is that like a common way to come over? Like one? Is it hard to get a tourist visa in Mexico?
Since my parents had a good job and I was in school, so it's easy to get a visa.
You were in school in Mexico?
Yeah.
What were you, like, in college?
Yeah, I was in college.
Where were you studying?
I was studying at the Technological Institute. That's like the best university of my town.
Cool.
I was taking electromechanic engineering. But then we had some trouble with my family, so I left.
Generally, like, to get work, you have to have Social Security and stuff.
Well, we buy those. Like, you go to one of those, like a bazaar, like one of those Mexican malls, whatever. And there's people who sell drugs and illegal documents.
So they're pretty easy to come by?
Yeah. I bought a Texas driver's license, fake.
Yeah.
Social Security, residence, like the green card, everything. Birth certificate.
How much were they?
Like $200 for everything.
For everything?
Yeah.
Pretty good deal. Do you know people who have been sent back, who tried to come over and have been sent back because?
Yes, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just they get pulled over and they go to jail.
Yeah.
And they get deported right away. Well, see, I had some friends who they were legal, but they got in the army. They were sent to war, and when they came back, they got deported.
Really?
Yes.
After they fought for their country, where did they serve?
Afghanistan.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were they there for?
2 years at least each.
And that didn't grant them citizenship after. Wow. You said you've been here for 12 years. Do you consider yourself an American, or do you see yourself as Mexican, or both, or?
I'm Mexican.
Yeah. Have you looked into trying to get citizenship, like official?
Well, yeah. I have a lawyer who's working in my case.
Oh, cool.
To get my residence.
How hard is it to do that?
I've been waiting 8 years, man. Paying a lot.
Have you ever been worried about being sent back, getting a traffic ticket?
Yeah. Every time I drive,
and
I have to be looking for cops. I see one, I turn, and go away.
En esta obra de construcción en Denton trabajan mayormente mexicanos e hispanos. No sabemos su estatus legal, pero sí sabemos que My name is Cynthia Cano, and I am an assignments editor at Channel 23 Univision Communications. And I am a Mexican and I am an American, so I guess that makes me a Mexican-American. So here in Univision, I just plan to use my experience and my connections and my network that I've established, because I've been there for a year and a half, to help me land a job as a reporter. It doesn't matter if I have to go to Brownsville or Laredo or a small little market. I connect with my Mexican culture just by going to my grandma's house. I mean, her cooking is on point. It's everything that I love about being Mexican. When I was younger and we used to take trips to Mexico, every Sunday we would wake up, in my grandma's house in Mexico City, and we would go buy everything from scratch, obviously, to make big Sunday breakfast. And one of those things was some milk and sugar and just every which kind of fruit that you wanted, because she would make the best licuados ever. They were just so delicious. I can't explain it. And that's why I especially now that I live here on my own in Denton, going to college, that's one of the things I do just because, one, it's easy to make in the morning. You don't need, to spend hours slaving in the kitchen. But yeah, it's how I remember. It's like what my grandma used to feed me when I was younger. There are so many different dishes from throughout the nation of Mexico that are so much more than just tacos and quesadillas, and they are delicious. So every time I go to my grandma's house, like, I just connect with her, with my Mexican culture, through the food, through the language, through the, the TV we watch, music we listen to. I think Spanish is very important to be identified as of, Mexican descent, but I don't think it's so much the language. Like, you don't have to master the language. Something that really bothers me is, like, third generation, fourth generation Mexican Americans are like, oh, I don't speak Spanish. Fine, you don't. Like, it's understandable. You can lose that. I guess that's an ability. It's something you learn. Like, you're not born with it. So, I mean, yeah, that's something you obviously lose. But, I mean, to just sit there and be like, oh, I don't speak Spanish. Like, okay, like, we get it. Just don't have that negative attitude, And then I think it's beautiful when on the other side, when, third generation, fourth generation Mexican Americans try to connect back with their culture and, like, learn Spanish, even if they're not great at it. Like, no one cares. The point is that you're trying, and that to me is beautiful, I obviously learned Spanish first because all my parents are, like, directly from Mexico, but I am from Dallas. So it's like I feel blessed that I've mastered both languages. But I mean, I think attitude is more important than actually, mastering the Spanish language. I think it's the way you approach trying to get back with your culture.
And so when I tell my parents, like, or my father specifically, oh, someone said I wasn't Mexican today, or someone, in my Mexican, like, he's like, no, you are. Like, tell them you are. You are Mexican. That's who you are. I'm Mexican. Your grandfather is Mexican. Everyone, that's what you identify with. And yeah, I think that's something I definitely will pass on. I'm proud of being Hispanic and being Mexican. And I mostly identify with being Hispanic and Mexican due to the family, like a close-knit family. My grandparents always were cooking and trying to do right by the grandkids. And oh, are you hungry? Are you hungry, mijo? And then, like, she'd make me anything I wanted. Like, I loved chorizo and egg because I'd spend the night at my grandma's, and then the next day I'd look forward to her making that. And then she'd make like 7 tacos of chorizo and egg, and I just eat it all up because I didn't get it when I was home. Sometimes people would be like, oh, can you speak Spanish? And I'd be like, no, I can't. And like, even family members would be like, oh, you can't speak Spanish? Like, it was just something I felt like I should be able to do, but I never grew up around it. And my father can't speak. He's not fluent in Spanish. His mother is, his parents are, but he's not. And so that was never passed down upon me, and it was never a necessity for me to know Spanish growing up. Yeah, I do think somewhat I missed out on not speaking Spanish when I was growing up, not being taught Spanish. I regret it now. I really wish I could have. I don't want to blame my parents or blame anybody, but I wish it would have happened. Not in the sense like I could better communicate with them, but I feel like as being Hispanic or being Mexican that I should have done that. Like, that's something that I should have done that I didn't do, that kind of disconnects me from what my grandparents or great-grandparents had.
I just view it as unfortunate, but I understand how that could happen because I tried to raise my kids bilingual, but it was really hard because when you are in the States and you don't have any other relatives that are around you when your children are growing up that speak Spanish, it's really hard to maintain that language. I am Gladys Johnston, and I am a second grade teacher. I was born in Puerto Rico, and both of my parents are Puerto Rican. And my ancestors came from Spain. Okay. And so my mom's ancestors were indigenous of Puerto Rico, the Carib Indians, and my dad's ancestors, they immigrated from Spain. people don't really know that. They don't know. They kind of lump Hispanic people all in one group. Especially here in Texas, they assume that everyone is of Mexican descent and heritage. They don't really think about that there's other Hispanic cultural groups from South America, from Europe.
Absolutely. Do you still incorporate Puerto Rican culture or food into your life?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Shannon and Matt, my two kids, they grew up eating Puerto Rican food, arroz con pollo, and pasteles, and all the Puerto Rican things, because I learned how to cook all those things from my mom, even though they did not grow up with their grandparents nearby, but we visited a lot. So at Christmas time, we all get together and we still make pasteles. Yeah. I do remember when I grew up, every time there's a presidential election, the Puerto Ricans vote for remaining a commonwealth or becoming independent. And so every year, every 4 years, that election still happens as always, and they always vote to remain a commonwealth because they're kind of like keeping a little bit of their independence, but still they get all of the privileges that American citizens get. So most of the people know that that's a good thing, as opposed to just being completely disconnected from the United States. It's really a difficult situation, especially being from a Hispanic country where we all have the citizenship that the other Hispanic people crave and want and come to this country for more opportunities.